Hi, this is Ari Kopel with Shattering the Matrix, and Crystal Andasola, who happens to be actually my co-host today, and probably for many, many, many more radio shows, hopefully. So Crystal, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you very, very much. It is such an honor to be a part of this radio show and to be working with you, as we want to be able to get so much more information out to our listeners that it's just a wonderful opportunity. So thank you.
Well, thank you for accepting this role, because you and I, we get along so well, and we pretty much come from what we call the same area or of understanding, and serve the same councils. And I thought, wow, what a fantastic obvious thing to do would be to invite you to be our co-host here as well. So we have good information today, and it's pretty much going a little bit more into what we were speaking of the last time, which was why get healthy, and how to start that from the cellular level. Because we, as much as we want to, and we're spiritual beings and we're on the spiritual path, it doesn't seem to work very well when we are suffering from illnesses and all kinds of issues in our lives. And when we're vibrating, when we're feeling good and we're vibrating highly because of the fact that everything is working the way it's supposed to be, then we're more apt to be able to receive those higher frequencies and be able to lift our consciousness and do all those things. So can you enlighten us a little bit more about that, and why it's so important to start at the cellular level and correcting anything that is incorrect in our bodies, etc., etc.?
Yeah, sorry. The body is the temple. I mean, your body is the vehicle that carries your Holy Spirit. It's the vehicle in which your Holy Spirit resides. So I personally believe that it is very, very important for people to address self, body, mind, spirit, emotions, all of the things that are culminated together, Ari, to help to raise your personal vibrational frequency. And of course, I also have a very crystal clear understanding that when the physical body is clear and it's resonating and it's vibrating and it's operating at its maximum potential, then life in general kind of falls into alignment with more grace and ease,
right?
Rather than struggle and strife. So I know that there's a lot of practitioners out there and a lot of very, very spiritually enlightened people on the planet. And, my goal, Ari, is to assist people into, addressing their personal vibrational resonance, so that then that vibration can start, going out into the universe, and also to help people to be the co-creators of whatever it is their dream or their passion. You know what I'm saying? When you feel better and when you look good and you feel good, it's just common sense that you're going to perform better in all areas of your life.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it brings you joy. It brings you into that state of, it's just, if you're in joy, you're already at a higher vibration right there. So that's really important. Now let's explore the three essential things that need to happen for life to happen. There is oxygen, there is water, and there is food, right? Without those three things, I don't think much of life can exist. So let's address those three things, starting with oxygen first. Obviously we know oxygen is very important. A lot of creatures cannot exist without that. I can only hold my breath for probably a minute, if even that. I don't even know. Really. And so the fact that we are living in a society where the oxygen quality is absolutely just horrific, between all the CO2 exhausts that comes out of the vehicles, and everything that's happening, and especially now that they're putting the chemtrails and whatnot. We don't know what we're breathing in. So can you discuss that and what that does to our bodies, if you can?
Yes, it breaks down the cellular reproduction of or the cellular regeneration, I should say. It interrupts and interferes in that. And, oxygen, as we all know, is extremely essential to any and all life force. And as you pointed out, we live in an environment that is extremely polluted. My son the other day was reading me out of the paper, and I thought the stats were like 700,000 people in the United States alone last year died of, pollution.
Wow.
So, these are things that we don't really look at because we don't see it or hear about it necessarily in our no news. Mm-hmm. So, people just keep trucking along. And again, we've just got this, all of the energy. And we also talked on my last show a lot about the electromagnetic pollution, which is also critically devastating to people's physical well-being. Mm-hmm. So, that's why I love so much the Opaline solution products. The dry oxy capsules are very essential. I've been on them for several years. And I take anywhere between 9 and 14 capsules a day.
Wow.
Just to, maintain a physical vibration of where I don't feel like that, vehicle.
Right, yeah.
Uh-huh. So it is very important. And oxygen is also, I personally believe that wherever there is oxygen that is depleted in the body it's an invitation for dis-ease.
Yeah.
Translated into disease. So it kind of, leaves you vulnerable and kind of a sitting duck, if you will, for cancers and illnesses, of all kinds. So, as far as the oxygen product is concerned, I take it daily, whether I feel like I need to or not, just mm-hmm. as a general foundation of maintenance.
Right.
So it seems to work, very, very efficiently. And not only that, but it also promotes, and it is supportive of cells regenerating, at pretty much a state of perfection, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay. So, and by, my experiences. So, it is a supplement, so mm-hmm. we have to,
ingest it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like edible oxygen, and it's very, very, very efficient.
Yeah, and it goes directly to the cells, and the cells need oxygen to metabolize, right, to be able to function correctly.
Absolutely.
So if a person is not, like I'm a shallow breather, and I know there's a lot of shallow breathers out there, but I don't take enough oxygen, and sometimes I even forget to breathe, for God's sakes. I mean, I really, I just get lost in my thoughts, and I just go, oh, I think it's time to take a breath, I mean, I actually consciously have to say that. And, but when I started taking the oxy, the dry oxy, wow, what a difference. I mean, my gosh, I mean, total energy. I felt, and if I could just close my eyes and pay attention to the cells, because each little cell of mine has a consciousness of its own. It's almost like its own universe in there. I can see them though. They're like happy and jumping and saying yay, that's the way I feel. I feel like so much energy and just a desire to live and to see things in a more positive light. I mean, obviously it doesn't mean that I am not conscious of the ugly side of life, because I'm one of those whistleblowers, and I just told you the other day actually yesterday what I did at my job.
I can't even believe that.
I can't even believe it, and I'll tell you all what I did. But that's the ugly side of life. But at the same time, I have this joy in my heart, because I see that there's so much more potential in me. Not that, it's like I know that it's always there, but I just didn't experience. I didn't tap into it. You're absolutely right. And so I think that's probably might have been what was missing. It's like, hello, I mean, it's part of being alive is to have that oxygen, and you're right that those pills are unbelievable.
Yeah, the Opaline Solutions capsules, they really are wonderful. And I also want to address the fact, Ari, again, we have several clients that take the Opaline Solutions Dryoxy capsules because they have various imbalances or illnesses, and again, it is a supplement. It promotes cellular regeneration. But I also want to address the fact, for instance, high altitudes. So people that are trying to acclimate, it was amazing. We had one of the representatives from the Durango Silverton narrow gauge train, which is, one of our tourist attractions here in Durango. And the lady that came into Sacred Space, and she was like, oh my goodness, she said, Crystal, I see people get off this train and they're literally green because it takes you all the way up into the
right.
mountains, and so a lot of people, coming from sea level or whatever, that they're not used to the altitude here. So again, when you're not functioning at your highest vibrational potential, it's going to affect every single area in your life.
Yep.
And then the other thing too, like I've had world bicycle racers that absolutely love the product and love the Opaline Dryoxy capsules because it helps them with endurance. It helps them with stamina.
Right.
Even my spiritual mentor, Rebecca, she rides her bicycle she rides her bicycle in the summertime at least 20 miles.
Wow.
A day. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing. She swears by them. She actually carries a little bottle in her basket. So whenever she's trying to get up over an incline or something, she's like, I literally stop and pop a couple capsules and I'm good to go. So,
wow.
And I love how you were willing to share, Ari, and unbeknownst to the listeners, we've had some conversations, personal, and yes, your energy was severely compromised, and we know the whys and whatnot, but
sure.
It's almost like you're a brand new person again.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you feel better and you have that energy to give, and you can give from a place of overflow rather than from a place of emptiness, it's beneficial to everybody. You, the people that you're interacting with, your job, your children, all of the tasky things that get put on our plates, and you can wake up feeling energized, and just overall, good health. So again, we live in an environment, that is just constantly depleted in oxygen, and so we need to address that, and we need to supplement that, I believe, in our bodies.
Yeah. Well, what I was looking at is the fact that these particular supplements address so many issues right now, and I wanted to read off some of them. Now, again, we're not saying that, we can't say that it does cure anything, okay? That's because that's, not, what we're supposed to do. But a lot of people have apparently claimed that they have been helped, okay, with the following issues. So, so anything that, for example, conditions that require more oxygen, like you were saying, you're in high altitude and whatnot. I think it helps, people with Morgellons.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard about that, and I know for a fact that, of course, we do have a friend in common that has been helped with these supplements. We have people that have suffered from asthma, been helped, emphysema, high blood pressure, anemia, was it called anaphylactic shock? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Anaphylactic shock.
Okay. Pneumonia, allergies, the high altitude, which you mentioned, pollution. If you're an athlete or anything having to do with exercise or workouts, exertion, fatigue. It helps with your energy level where you don't really need caffeine. Healing body wounds, post-op, anything that's post-op, any trauma, headaches, and migraines. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's funny. It's phenomenal, people tell me, for hangovers.
Wow. Amazing. So you can always have a little bottle with you if you're going to have a hangover, right? If you're going to plan to have a hangover. Detoxification, blood poisoning, food poisoning, diabetic wounds, liver spots, and bird mites. Interesting.
Yes, yeah. Now,
wow.
And some of those would be addressing the Opaline Solutions detox bath, which to be honest with you, Ari, it is my favorite product, right alongside my crystal Ascension water.
Right.
Really one of my favorite products on the face of the planet. I'm telling you, when you take these detox baths, you literally come out of those baths feeling light, and I do want to say airy. No joke about it. It is truly amazing, because then the whole body becomes oxygenated.
Wow.
Again, wounds, cuts, sores, and these are all things. I've got children. My husband's in construction. I've got grandchildren that are always scraping their knees and doing this or that. Or if flu, I'll tell you, anytime the flu viruses, and I'm very, very anti-flu shot. Sorry, everybody, but I am very against the flu shots. So we don't do those in our family. But let's just say, the grandchildren come home from school and they've got a sniffle or even a sore throat. Man, Grammy puts them right in an oxygen bath, and Ari, I'm not kidding. I've seen, they'll have the dark purple circles and the, snot running down their face and everything else, and 20-minute detox bath. It's gone. It's done. It's over. There's no more sickness or illness the next day. And here's what's so funny. My granddaughters are now 10 and 11. They will actually come to my house, and they'll be like, Grammy, I need an oxygen bath.
I need to go to the spa.
Yeah. So it was really funny. One of Misty, my oldest one, a couple months ago, was like, Grammy, I bumped my head on the playground and I knocked my chakra out of alignment, and I need an oxygen bath. It's like, wow, look what it created. a
little monster there.
Yeah, and then same thing,
Wow.
And my oldest granddaughter, she has had some digestive imbalances. So my point is here, out of the mouth of babes, their own physiology. There's oxygen, Opaline Solution oxygen capsules all over my work, my house, my car, my purse. I mean, I've got bottles everywhere. And they are wise enough that they will, whenever they come over, they go right to, the little health center in my house and take their own oxygen. So that's their kinesiology, kicking in. It says, well, I need this. And they'll tell me, wow, I feel so much better. Or, if Misty has a food allergy, or let's say that she ate something at school that didn't, that was full of crap, then she will take an oxygen capsule and she'll be like, Grammy, I can't believe how much better my belly feels, because it will also assist and support in balancing the pH as well, which is very, very important, because that's another thing that I feel contributes to intestinal diseases.
Correct.
And cancers and stuff like that is, the pH not being in balance. So it's a wonderful product. But yeah, Mother Nature intended oxygen and herbs and water.
Yes.
For balance. So I try to teach people, when you go and eat, whether you're eating that salad or you're eating that cheeseburger, you are not feeding your body.
Right.
You're feeding belly.
Yep. So true.
But you're not feeding your body the essential nutrients that Mother Nature and, infinite creator intended when they created this beautiful vehicle called human being.
That's right. So yeah, absolutely. And the thing is too that bacteria, I guess viruses and whatnot, they don't they don't really like the oxygen too much, do they? I mean, it seems like that's what kills them.
Yeah, and again, we have to be very careful because we've got, the FDA out there trying to shut down everything in the world.
Sure.
But nonetheless, yes, it is very, very, very effective in eliminating bacteria. I remember this beautiful lady just kind of wandered in my store about 2 summers ago. And I'm telling you something, Ari, she lifted up her shirt, and she had a very severe case of MRSA.
Oh, wow.
And so she lifted up her shirt and showed me her belly and her back, and I just cringed. I was like, oh my God, So I immediately got her into, the Opaline Solutions Detox Bath to address that on top of, which would be external, and the capsules would be internal. And that lady was so beautiful. She came back, I would say maybe a week later, and lifted up her belly, showed me her belly and her back, and I mean, it was gone.
Wow.
It was just gone. And so, bless her sweetheart, she comes in here every so frequently, and she says, I'm terrified, Crystal, that I'll get that it'll come back, because I've never had MRSA, but I've had a handful of clients that have had it, and also shingles is another thing.
Sure.
Any type of the skin, and we also know the Morgellons. The Morgellons is where the little fibers, it creates the sores, and then the little fibers of, nano monsters is what I call them, start coming up, creating the sores and all of this other stuff. And so, all I can tell people is it's a wonderful, wonderful product, and I really wholeheartedly believe in it. I can't tell you the stories, Ari, that people come in, or that I've actually witnessed with my own 2 eyes. That this wonderful product has addressed and been very successful in helping people to, rid themselves of, with those types of skin disorders and irritants and so on and so forth. I mean, oxygen, right?
Oh yeah. And of course the cells are getting happier and healthier, and they're able to do their function better when they're getting the oxygen that they need. And of course, along with that, they also need a very important thing too, which is water. We need water, and a lot of us are not drinking enough water, or the quality of water is not good. So let's address that, because the cell needs water, just like our bodies are mostly water. The cell needs the water also. So can you address that?
Yes, that's another thing that I see. Most of the listeners know by now that I am actually a seeress, so I, can look at the energetic body and the eyes that are the window to your soul. So when I do, my readings and I'm addressing people's health, things like that, it's, I'm seeing kind of everything, not just what I see on the spiritual aspect, but also the physical body. So dehydration. So many people are dehydrated and they don't even know it.
Yep.
I can look at somebody and tell them, wow, your organs actually look like cake. Are so dehydrated, and instead of being all like, lubricated and squishy, it's more like cake. That they're so dehydrated, because most people that I have found don't like water, or they don't, they're just not good water drinkers. And of course, we know caffeine dehydrates, we know sodas dehydrate, and again, the body is 75% water.
That's right. Yeah.
And we need that water. Water is very essential. Water is also a recorder. Water is a healer. And we also know that the water out there that is available to us is highly compromised from our federal government, right along with the GMO foods and all the other nonsense that they are throwing at to intentionally compromise the immune system.
Yep.
I hope all the people are hearing me. Let me say it again. That are intentionally designed to compromise your immune system. We are seeing, and I'll bet you the listeners out there are just going to be like, wow, we're seeing stage 4 cancers. I cannot even count on my hands and toes together, Ari, how many people that I know or clients or actually in my own family that are, my husband's aunt, I'll leave her nameless, but let's just say she's very healthy. She's never smoked a day in her life. She's always exercised, always eaten right, very active, healthy, beautiful person, had a sinus infection that wouldn't go away, and she goes to the doctor and she has stage 4 lung cancer.
Wow.
I have a daughter-in-law whose mother went in for her normal colonoscopy. They saw tumors in there. Cut a long story short, she's got stage 4 ovarian cancer. My husband's laborer died about 4 years ago. You're talking a 26-year-old, strong as a ox kid, never did drugs, never did alcohol, raised on a ranch, pretty much was a cowboy, went to work with my husband, and again, got some sort of a respiratory infection, ended up in the hospital. Cut a very long story short, he is no longer with us.
Wow.
They diagnosed him with lung cancer, then he didn't have lung cancer, caused a stroke, and bless his heart, he passed away.
Wow.
So that's just 3. I could go on for 5 more 2-hour shows, Ari, articulating how many clients or people. So we're seeing this increase. People are going to the doctor on the first visit and they're stage 4 cancer. Again, I want to keep reiterating, this is from the chemtrails, folks. That is what they are designed to do, is to go in and literally compromise the immune system.
Yep.
And and that's what they do. It causes autoimmune. Do you know how many people are dealing with thyroid issues? Whether it's hypo or hyper, or immune disorders, or autoimmune, or people that are dying, left and right of natural causes. Yeah, right. So again, as I stated in my last show, I really, really want to provide a platform and give people the antidote so that you don't have to sit here and tolerate and put up with this, all-out chemical human genocide.
Right.
It's gotten to the point where, I'm going to keep opening my mouth and keep opening my mouth and keep opening my mouth and hoping that every beautiful, intelligent listener out there will be encouraged to, again, write your Congress, write your city officials, I just did a huge article today to the Durango Herald on the chemtrail, because they did an all-out assault last Friday that I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, I have never, ever, ever seen that many chemtrails in the sky at one time. And of course, you know what I did? I ran in and put 6 oxygen capsules and my crystal Ascension water.
Of course.
And started drinking it. So again, I just think it's really important to at least give people the knowledge, because knowledge is power, and help people to raise their consciousness. Your consciousness is the most powerful thing that you can have. So,
true.
The thing that I love, and you, the
Berkey water purifiers.
Yes. Wow, and I highly, highly recommend. Going on to the smarthealth.com and checking out the Berkey water purifiers, because again, folks, that is so, so important to make that investment.
Oh, yes.
Agree?
Oh, yes. Yes. People, first of all, I think that the listeners that listen to this show can all agree that there's something going on, that we're being sprayed with something that is obviously not good for us. And we have probably already come to the conclusion, of course, at some point, that the water has been compromised. And when I got a whiff of what the Berkey water purifier system does, that was back in 2006, I believe. I wanted to get one. It's like, I've got to get one. But I just didn't get one until I actually moved to Nashville. And then when I decided to get one, Crystal, it was I was on a huge waiting list back then. Okay, because people were already jumping on board with this. And so what this system does is basically it is for self-sufficiency. If there is a situation where we don't have the access to water, okay, because there's no electricity, because there's no water pressure or whatever, we can't be without water for too long before, just like oxygen, but we can't be without water for that much longer, like another maybe 2 to 3 days, maybe max, before we're compromised. So what the Berkey water purifier does is actually allows you to drink water from any raw body of water, like a pond, like a river, like a creek, a stagnant little pool of whatever. You can filter that water and it comes out virtually 100% pure. And then it's got these 2 elements that go attached to that black filter, which that filter is what actually causes the ability to remove parasites, to remove cysts, to remove bacteria, to remove what is this thing called? There's one that's called cryptosporidium, which is so tiny. That's why it's called crypto. That you have to have a very, very small pore for that thing to be captured, and that's what the Berkey does. Because many times, when you have tap water, and they're adding chlorine and they're adding all these chemicals to be able to kill the bacteria. Cryptosporidium is the only thing that does not get killed by any of that. So if there's cryptosporidium in the water, people will usually die from that. Okay, it's bad. It's as bad as cholera. Okay, so the Berkey does remove that. And then what I was saying is it does have an additional 2 filters that a person can purchase that removes fluoride. So
so important. And
oh my God,
show the fluoride. I mean, that is again, folks. It's intentionally.
Yep.
Here's what fluoride does. Fluoride actually, I'm so much more, but really. It's designed also to go in and literally calcify your pineal gland, not to mention, all of the other imbalances and dysdashies that people are finding out about fluoride.
Right.
I remember when we were in school, you had to take the little fluoride capsule.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever they had their, day of dentist and educating on, brushing your teeth. And so, we now know that fluoride is not healthy for you. And so that is one of the things that I found extremely appetizing about the Berkey water filter is the fact that you can get the additional filters that will address the fluoride. So I think that is just so important because, again, folks, water is so important. That's one of the things that I truly love and have noticed greatly about the Crystal Ascension water, which is my product that I was commanded to make in 2009 by Infinite Creator using the most powerful crystals on the planet. And so before I started creating that with the absolute intention and assistance from Infinite Creator, as well as Mother Earth and the crystals that she provides for me that allow me to make this water, I was not necessarily a good water drinker myself because I just don't like the taste of it. But I've noticed with the Crystal Ascension water, it has a sweeter, it's like it makes you want to drink water.
Right.
I kid you not.
Wow.
That's all I do is drink water. Savannah, my assistant, will tell you. She's constantly like, water, we need more. Because I drink it all up. I mean, if there's easy, I'll bet you I drink no less than 3 gallons a day.
Whoa.
Myself. So I drink water from the time I wake up all day to the time I go to bed, and I even drink it while I'm sleeping. I wake up, I always go to bed with a full glass of water. So, I really want to help to educate the listeners how important water is to your overall everything. It's critical.
Essential.
It's your life force. It is so essential. And again, if you're cloudy, if you're sluggish, if you're sick all the time, if you're constantly battling allergies or constipation or digestive problems or headaches, many people don't know. Folks, a lot of the times the migraines out there, people that suffer from headaches, that's because you're dehydrated.
Yep.
You're truly, truly dehydrated. So again, I want the viewers and the listeners to be able to understand that there are products out there. I think the Berkeley water filter is a phenomenal investment. These are not expenses, people.
Right.
These are investments into your well-being. Would you not agree, Ari?
Oh, 100%. Definitely. I mean, that has got to be the best investment I made. And I'm telling you, I waited a while because I got myself on that waiting list, and I just, and I got the biggest one because I do everything with that crystal. I do everything. I cook with it. I brush my teeth with it. I give my animals the water with it. I water my plants with it. I rinse my lettuce with it. I do everything with that because, nothing that goes in my body is going to have that contaminated water. Okay, and I say contaminated not because it's got the, they put the chemicals in there, the chlorine, and if a person only understood what chlorine does to your body, oh my God, if you only knew, you would never put tap water in your mouth again. And a lot of those bottled waters that people buy in the stores are just, they're basically, water that is used, it's tap water, it's not even spring water.
Yep. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And of course, we know the powers that think they be, the same powers that are, heading up the chemtrails, that they're compromising the water too with lithiums and the chlorines. Here's the other thing. When you turn on tap water, you can smell the chlorine.
You sure can.
I go in, I get a clean wash rag, I wash my face.
Yep.
The very next day, less than 24 hours later, and I would invite and encourage the listeners to actually pay attention, be mindful of this. If I go to smell, like I can't ever use the same washcloth or for anything for that matter because it has that bacteria, that smell,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know what it is. It just smells like bacteria, and so. It makes you go, wow, it's in the material. So again, I have to, bleach everything out with, get it decontaminated just from the water. So I've always been like, wow, can only imagine what's happening.
Oh yeah.
You know, internally. So again, you know, these are very important. I feel it's a very important subject. I'm really glad that we're talking about the importance and at least giving people the choice and the opportunity, Ari, to research some of these products that we were talking about in order to help them to feel better, to be more healthy, to have more energy, and good health, because that will then help you to resonate and to be much more highly productive and your potential to be highly, betterly served, I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I recommend people too to pick up a copy, if you could, of a book called Health and Nutrition Secrets by Dr. Russell Blaylock. And that's the book that actually opened up my eyes to, what is in the water, the fluoride, what fluoride actually does, what aspartame does to your body. Did you know, and I don't know if you know this, you probably do, but maybe our listeners didn't know, that aspartame, anything that's a dietetic product that's sugar-free and is usually replaced by aspartame or something, a derivative of aspartame, that aspartame, and when it's in your body, at body temperature, becomes formaldehyde. And therefore, it gives people symptoms like multiple sclerosis and all kinds of lupus and all kinds of things. So a lot of people, when they start feeling and they're diagnosed for multiple sclerosis, when I tell them about that and they remove the aspartame from their lives, they go back to normal?
Oh, I believe you. I absolutely believe you.
Yep.
All that stuff in the link that I provided talking at the last show around the Candida.
Oh, yes.
They talk about it in there, when they were giving the lab rats,
right,
the aspartame and the whatever it is in the diet realm of diet Cokes and diet this and whatever. The lab rats were getting tumors and dying.
Right.
So what do? They put it in the food now.
Yep.
Which is why and I really encourage people. I mean, I know that you posted it. And bless your heart, thank you for that. I still really feel that it is incredibly important for people to access, because that particular link does a very thorough breakdown and explanation of the Candida and how it's caused and where it comes from. But, aspartame, all of those things are cancer causing, period.
Yep.
They really are.
Yeah.
Again, knowledge is power, folks.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it's what we're ingesting, whether we're breathing it, whether we're drinking it, whether we're eating it. And that is, of course, it's stuff that is totally dead, probably dead food. I mean, food that's not, helping your cells whatsoever to allow them to reproduce correctly. Therefore, they're reproducing incorrectly, and then creating the tumors and the cancers. So that's what we're doing, folks. I mean, what we're trying to address here today is how to empower ourselves via addressing the cell level, allowing ourselves the fighting chance to be able for them to function the way they were intended to function from day one through our infinite and divine and wise creator, which had a certain design in place for these cells, and they're not working that way because the opposition has been very intelligent and very proactive in allowing us not to function the way we're supposed to function from the inside out. So therefore, we can't make any changes to the planet or anything like that, because we don't have a fighting chance. Our bodies hurt. Our bodies are ill. Our bodies are broken. And how can we possibly be, focused to make any changes in society when we're feeling like crap most of the time? So,
exactly. I mean, people barely have the energy, Ari, to get up and make it through their work day.
Exactly. Yep.
And it really is sad. And here's the thing. Again, those powers that think they be that are doing this, they're so how do I say this? They're so, let me think. They know the American people are just so comfortable and so in their rut, in their routine.
And again, by design, it was designed that way, right?
Yeah, hurry, worry, scurry, that most people don't even know what's hit them, why they're feeling this way, or what's going on. And again, I see it. I definitely have been given a gift, or was born with the gift of seeing things, and I can see these energetic imbalances, and I also have an incredible wise intelligence that understands that we are energy, and so they know what they're doing.
Oh, sure.
And they know that it's very effective, and I feel like somebody needs to be out there on a very broad spectrum, at least giving the people the antidote, so that you don't have to be a victim of their shenanigans, as I call it.
Exactly.
You can counteract their little chemical genocide assaults that they're doing on the general public. So. I really appreciate you providing a phenomenal platform, and an opportunity for people to access this information and this beautiful wisdom.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's the least that we can do. I mean, especially if we know about these things, and I'm sure a lot of listeners know about these things, and God bless all of them who've tried very hard to forewarn their loved ones and their family and their friends and everything, and many of them have been scoffed at. It's like, I don't know how many times I've pointed to the skies, to people that, maybe coworkers or something, or friends or neighbors, hey, take a look at that, and do you know what that is? And they will go, no, what is it? I'm thinking, are you kidding? Are you serious? I mean, the whole sky is covered with these, chemtrails that are forming, synthetic clouds trying to cover something, so it's a dual purpose. It's covering up something that they don't want us to see. At the same time, they're spraying us with God knows what. And I tell you what, I go outside, and I purposely try to stay indoors all the time because I just don't like the fact that I'm being sprayed on. And so, but I'll go outside and I'm walking my dogs or something, and I can actually smell the chemicals / bacteria. So they're spraying us with not only chemicals and nanotechnology, but specifically bacteria. I smell it in the air. Okay, and when exactly at the moment when I smell it, I start feeling something in my throat, in my nose. I don't know, but you know what? I start popping in them pills, and I tell you what, between those pills, and I also take these specific formula designed by Hannah Kroger, God bless her heart, and she's passed on. But she designed this formula for H1N1 that I take every time I start feeling a little scratchy throat or a little bit. I pop those things in, and it wipes it clean. There's no more symptoms. But anyway, I started doing the dry oxy, and holy cow, it's like it's like a miracle. So
really is.
Yep.
It's really the antidote. And again, I really, really, really want the intelligent listeners to understand these are not contrails. These are chemtrails. And with that being said, I am very adamant. I know what I know. So it's not up for debate. It's like I just wrote this phenomenal article to my own local newspaper because I've really had enough of this. And you are right. And do you know how many people actually think or associate, whether it be the watery eyes or the sore throat or the swollen glands or the stuffy nose or the lungs closing or the respiratory allergies?
Oh, allergies. It's the pollen. Yeah.
No, it's the damn chemicals that they're spraying you with. And now they do it so, it's not so noticeable during the day because they've figured out.
They're doing it at night. Yeah.
So now they're doing it at night.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, folks, I do not know why. But what I do know is that if people write about it or talk or complain or whatever, they literally will stop for at least 3 days. So now I'm on this, I'm going to get everybody I know, so everybody just assign themselves at least, okay, so 1 day, and then that'll be 3 days, and then maybe we'll get 6 days of no chemtrails, and maybe we'll get 9 days until they eventually stop. And somebody needs to hold the United States government accountable, because it is the United States government that is allowing these drones to fly into our airspace. It has come from, again and again and again, Kristen Magan. Go to her YouTube. I'm sorry, she caught the United States government red-handed, busted them. So...
No, they're not all drones, are they? Some of them are actually manned, aren't they?
Well, I have always gotten that most of them are drones.
Oh, really?
But nonetheless, here's a part that I want everybody to understand, that one of the greatest things also is to block out the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so their excuse for this is that, with the polar shifts and the solar flares and all the magnetic energy coming from the sun, they need to block out some of the rays so that, people don't get cancer. It's crap. It's bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors.
Right.
And it's nonsense. We're not idiots here. We know exactly what they're doing. But in the process of that, in depleting people, what all life force energy, Ari, comes from what?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
All life force energy comes from
the
what?
sun.
The sun.
Oh, yeah.
So everything on this planet. And again, if you're not getting, that's why we have so much vitamin D depletion.
Oh, sure.
People,
yep.
And so many illnesses that are correlated and associated with the lack of vitamin D, because you don't get any sunny days anymore. You get great big chemical gray skies. I've actually seen over here in Colorado, the day will start out beautiful, sunny, blue skies, and man, God forbid they let one sunshiny blue sky day happen, that they're not out there with freaking 15 chem planes doing their X's, A's, and their O's. And so...
and it also affects our... our demeanor too. Doesn't it, I know when it's a sunny day, I'm, positive, I'm outgoing, I feel joy in my heart, I want to do things, and when it gets cloudy and gloomy, I'm more, introverted, I'm more depressed, to at least tend to do that, get, morbid, start thinking weird things, Yeah,
it causes people to be irritated, to be agitated, to be frustrated, to be sick, to be whatever. I remember reading a story a long time ago. I can't remember the total contents, but what I do remember is Michael Jackson was very well educated on chemtrails, and he, because I've actually been spraying those since in the 70s, not near as much as they spray today, but nonetheless, he would say the chemtrails would, he'd see them in the sky, and then all of a sudden everybody in the neighborhood would go from playing and happy, as you were speaking, to arguing, fighting, chaos, discord, havoc, turmoil. And again, they're absolutely designed to affect everything.
Sure.
Body, mind, emotions, your spirituality.
Yep.
That's the whole... they go after the pineal center, which is your ascension portal. Mm-hmm. That's very, very sacred. It's your connection to infinite creator. Your intuition, that's your Holy Spirit.
Yep.
That's, so what do they go for? The pineal and the gut. Mm-hmm. The colon, the intestines. If they can get all that compromised, then the vibrational resonance will never get off the earth plane. That's their intention. It will never launch into the ethers, to bring to humanity, the new earth frequencies. They're very smart and very intelligent in their chemical weaponry, we'll call it.
Sure, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So we're not going to sugarcoat and put a pretty bow around this shit sandwich that we have to eat every day.
Exactly, yeah. And so it is up to us, the intelligent listeners, the ones that get it, to actually do something about it. Now, we can't perhaps go out and say, start maybe a campaign of awareness for people, although we could try. But what I'm saying is, individually, we really need to take it upon ourselves to do something for ourselves and for our families. And what we're speaking about on this radio show today is information that's going to empower you individually. It may not empower your neighbor unless your neighbor wants to do this. In other words, this is the type of thing that we're saying is we can lead the horse to water, we can't make it drink, So we can lead you to water, we can't make you drink, but I'm hoping that you do want to drink from what we're saying. What we're saying is that we're giving you enough information of what it's going to take to be able to get your body to fight off the crap that's being done to us, whether it's coming from the sky, whether it's coming from the food, whether it's coming from the water that you're drinking. There are ways to fight it if you choose to do so, and we're giving you some of the ammunition here to do that. And of course, one of them is definitely taking in the oxygen, because it is being depleted by putting all these chemicals in the air, not allowing our bodies to function, to be able to metabolize the food that we eat, to be able to have those cells reproduce correctly, because it doesn't have the oxygen it needs to do that. Also, the water, it's very important that you hydrate so that those cells function properly. And you have to not only hydrate, but you got to hydrate with pure water. And then if you add on top of that high vibrational water to it, which is crystal Ascension water, that's just a heightened thing, a better enhanced water that's going to help your cells tremendously. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Masaru Emoto. He talks about that, and I'm telling you, folks, they're finding more and more and more. As a matter of fact, Ari, I meant to do this last week, but I will get it done as soon as we're done with this interview. I will forward you over this phenomenal scientific report around water. So it's a very, very supportive of the crystal Ascension water. But water can actually change your DNA.
Yes, it can.
It can heal you, and I can assure everybody, the crystal Ascension water concentrate that I created on behalf of the command of Infinite Creator, it is full of all of those wonderful intentions, programmings of love and light, and I just want to assure everybody that those high vibrational, the crystals that I use are the highest vibrational crystals on the planet. I keep that proprietary for obvious reasons. One specimen's only found in one place in the world. But it is very, the messages of water, Emoto's book, it's really true. If you, and I would encourage everybody to get his book, Messages from Water, where you can see where he pulls samples out of rivers, or lakes or whatever that are non-blessed. And then, the samples that he does where it says, I love you, or you're beautiful, or love and light, or whatever it is. And they are, frozen into these beautiful crystalline structures.
Right.
So, the information, and again, I'm going to get that to you so that you can get it posted on your website, because I really want to provide the people with the information. So you can come to your own conclusion, you can come to your own determination, but at least the information that you need, folks, is there for you to access. Because, again, I felt very strongly, I know you do too, Ari, that we've got to get people to kind of wake up. Today I set it as my intention, and I held myself accountable. I said to Savannah, today I'm going to write the Durango Herald, and I'm going to call the senator of the state of Colorado. And I did. And his secretary answered, and I let her have it. I really did. I let this, and I was like, and I want to call back. Right. I expect, Senator Udall to return my call, because I want to know why he is allowing these all-out assaults, chemtrails in the state of Colorado. Somebody needs to answer me. And then I called the local office in Durango that for the senators.
Wow.
So I did 3 things, and it took me literally less than an hour.
Yeah, and
so is my life force energy worth an hour of my time to say, listen,
Yep.
I'm on this planet too, folks.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but I'm sick and tired of going to bed with chemicals, breathing them. I'm tired of...
Well, here's the thing. They don't have my permission to pollute my environment. They don't have my permission. Just like, you have a person who's smoking, and they're smoking in your face, and they're invading your area.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you want to pollute your lungs? Go right ahead, but do it with not where I'm compromised.
Right.
So,
isn't that why the smoking in public laws?
Exactly. Right.
And it can't be X amount of feet within a restaurant, but yet they'll just come and put 30,000 airplanes on the sky and,
yep.
And pollute you that way. I mean, and you're right, we are all on this planet together. And one of my biggest things, I don't know if I'll ever get it written, but, I have a book that's written in my head. It's called We the People,
right.
My Ass.
Right.
Yeah. And I get to the point obviously I'm sure you can all tell by now that I have a lot of passion around what I do and my belief system, but it's like I've really had enough.
Yeah.
And there's something I think very beneficial when you get to the point of being sick and tired that you're actually going to get off your butt and be the catalyst to do something about it. So I can only do my part, you can only do your part, but what I hope is that this will resonate to so many people's consciousness that I hope the White House, I hope every political avenue, venue, whatever, just gets bombarded by the general public in these chemtrails.
Yep.
They need to make it stop.
Mm-hmm.
We're not stupid. We know what they're up to. Again, enough is enough. And meanwhile, hopefully, we can provide, assistance in helping people to at least counterbalance or, load our love and light guns.
Yep. Right.
With the product. And, I'm a firm believer that every product that is here, that is part of the antidote, obviously was initiated by Creator.
Oh, sure. It's all here. I mean, we do have the anecdote, and it's just a matter of letting people know about it, and again, having those people wanting to take the antidote as well. But I wanted to mention, going back to the water situation, there is a doctor, and I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but I think it's pronounced Feridun Batmangelij. He came up with the thing called the water cure. He is an Iranian-born doctor who he was in a prison, and he discovered that by giving people water, there were a couple of prisoners with really horrible abdominal pains, that they were bent over, and they were trying to get help. He was trying to get help, like maybe the guards to help him, and they wouldn't help him. So all he asked for was water. Let me have some water for him. So he would start giving him water, and he just had this prisoner, keep drinking water, and the pain subsided. And then he I guess that led him down the rabbit hole, and he kept experimenting with cancer patients and diabetes patients and lupus patients and so on and so on. And he's cured, according to him, people from all sorts of diseases by having them drink water. Because they're saying that the body is starving from water, that it's thirsty. And so I urge everyone to check this out. I mean, he's on YouTube and everything, and his last name is spelled, I'm gonna spell it really slowly for you all, because it's really difficult. I don't even know if I pronounce it right, but it's Batmangelij. It's B like boy, A, T like Tom, M like Mary, A like Apple, N like Nancy, G like George, H like Harry, E like Edward, L like Larry, I like ice cream, D like David, J like jam. And check him out. He's on YouTube. His Dr. Batman Gelich. Look up the cure, the water cure, and it'll tell you how essential water is in curing you from whatever diseases. So really interesting.
It's really true, and it really is. It's what nature intended. You know, I learned something so many years ago from my very beautiful spiritual mentor, Rebecca, and she was like, you know, Crystal, anything that's out of balance can be put back into balance. And I'm telling you something, Ari, I never ever forgot that comment, that statement, and of course she is truly probably the wisest person I know. I mean, she has a white aura.
Wow.
Okay, we don't see too many. Usually if you have a white aura, you're on the other side.
Yeah, right.
But nonetheless, you know, it was profound. And this was like 15 years ago that she had said that to me, and I never forgot that. And I have to say that that's always been kind of a motivator, if you will, that wisdom of going, okay, you know, she's correct. And when it came out of her mouth, it was like, you know, again, your intuition is like, truth bumps, yep, that's truth. Mm-hmm. You know, so I really feel like it's important to pass this along for people to go, yes, anything that's out of balance can be put back into balance.
Yep.
We just have to have the desire to find that balance in life, you know?
So true. That is so true.
You know, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, you know, we have the power, obviously, because of, you know, we are divine, as we know, and we have the power to bring things back into alignment as well. So her statement is absolutely accurate. I wanted to also address the issue with nutrition, because that's the other missing part. You know, how you said we've been compromised in our gut, et cetera, but in reality, the type of food we eat, the fact that it's not being digested correctly, on top of that, and if it was digested properly, it's dead. You know,
it's dead.
It doesn't give us anything.
Dead water, dead air, and then next thing you know, humanity will be dead. I mean, that's their intention. Yes, Ari. You know, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we have talked off the show, and one of the things that we're going to do is bring my master herbalist, Susan Page, will be our next interview, and I'm really excited for the listeners because she can articulate so much more profound, I think, about the difference in feeding your body, okay, opposed to actually feeding your organs. The nutrition, you know, the herbs that Mother Nature intended. You know, what I do get is when you eat that cheeseburger or even that salad, you know, again, they've got everything compromised.
Sure.
So it looks all whatever, but it's really dead food.
Yep.
So unless you, and I'm a firm believer, folks, and I will say this 10,000 suns over and over again, please, listeners, bless your food.
Yep.
And you know, everything I put in my mouth, I ask Infinite Creator and the grace of God and the grace of our divine cosmic mother to please raise the vibration of this food to its highest energetic nutritional potential. Okay? Because Spirit, you know, we all have the ability. We're all connected to all that is of oneness.
That's right.
So you can go straight to Creator, straight to, you know, the infinite source, and bless your food. It's that intention. It becomes blessed. And I'm telling you, you know, I eliminated a whole bunch of my digestive issues that I was having, and coupled with the protocol that we're talking about now, on top of blessing everything that I put in my mouth. and I don't have my belly swelling out till I'm 9 months pregnant like I was, with 7 doctors standing around me scratching their heads going, well, we don't know what's wrong with her, and they've run every test known to mankind. I mean, in 2009 I ended up in the Mayo Hospital from some serious digestive disorders and unknown.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, excuse me, those doctors already told me that they are finding more and more digestive disorders and illnesses that they've never seen. They've never even been taught.
I wonder what's causing it, huh?
Medical school, how to address these things that they don't see. There's a whole section of your intestines. It's called the mystery section or something to that effect. But nonetheless, the blessing of the food, it's so important.
It's super important. And along with that, I take that even a notch further, which is I, on top of not only blessing my food, I give thanks for my food. So you got to be in an attitude of gratitude, number 2. And then on top of that, I put the violet flame on it, so to make sure that anything that is not in alignment to my highest good is transformed and transmuted, and so that it becomes of the highest frequency and the highest energy for my consumption. So I do all those things. So they're very important.
And I really hope, and I'm so glad we're sharing this, and thank you for mentioning, the attitude of gratitude. Folks, that is so important. Without gratitude and without giving thanks, the universe doesn't give you any more. So it is very, very important. The gratitude and yes, and I always do incorporate thank you. I didn't go through the whole thing, but I wanted the high vibration. But yes, the attitude of gratitude. I am very grateful to the Holy Spirit for providing this wonderful food. And I'm telling you, through the power of your consciousness.
Yep.
Our consciousness, folks. And here's what I want to help people, because there's so many people that have all of this spiritual potential. We'll just call it spiritual potential, that that want to be in alignment with Spirit and our Divine Mother. But again, I'm noticing over and over again, people just don't feel good.
Right.
Don't feel good, Ari.
Nope.
And so their give a damn is broke. And what I want to help is to bridge them back together with nature and in alignment with Creator. And I'm talking the Creator of all that is, of oneness. Infinite source, folks. Our cosmic Father and our cosmic Mother. And bring yourself into that alignment. And awareness. Awareness is so important aspect of anything.
Yes. You got to be able to be aware of it. Otherwise, how do you tackle it?
Well, you cannot change what you're unwilling to acknowledge.
Exactly.
And there's a whole lot of things that need to be acknowledged. And I'm really glad that you and I were kind of addressing these things, because as somebody that's in the public eye, also from, the people that reach out to me, from the listeners, from your radio show, not to mention my clients, I've just been observing and watching people just slowly but surely, melt away, and it's like a raisin that's just shriveling and just dying.
Exactly. Yep.
Energetically.
Yep.
And I feel like, we all came here to share this beautiful planet and to raise the vibration and to connect with oneness and unity, community, and cooperation. And I just want to do everything and do my part to make sure that people at least have the information that may be helpful to them, to raise their energy in order to help them to do whatever it is, to vibrate to their highest vibrational potential.
Exactly.
Which is beyond our human comprehension right now.
Yep, I agree.
So I think we're doing a good job, Ari.
we're trying. I mean, at least we're out there, speaking this. I mean, and it's like, I'm hoping it doesn't go to deaf ears, that it doesn't just end with the radio show, once it's over, people turn it off and then forget about it. I'm hoping that there's a good percentage of people that are listening to the show, whether it's live, whether it's archived, or whether it's on YouTube, that actually listen to this, and it's the clarion call for them to actually take action for themselves. And along with also hopefully getting inspired to write to their newspaper, to do what I did the other day, which I haven't gone into, and maybe I won't. To go to.
Let's talk about.
You want to talk about that? Oh gosh, really? Okay. Well, I was working a gig. Because I do that. I go through little episodes in my life where I have to try out something different, and so I felt like I wanted to be part of the Matrix again and be with the different, folks that were not exactly, their consciousness wasn't exactly at its peak at this point. But anyway, I decided to try that out. I needed some money, and I did that. And anyway, it had to do with Medicaid. Here in the state of Tennessee, and we were a call center that processed a lot of the calls for the state of Tennessee, and so I became a supervisor very, very shortly. Coming in through the doors, I became a supervisor, and I was one of the jobs that I had was taking a lot of escalation calls when these people that applied for Medicaid with the state of Tennessee were not getting approval from the state for their Medicaid benefits. A lot of people had applied in November, some have applied in December, some applied in January, but still it wasn't happening, and a lot of these people were critically ill. I mean, critically to the point of passing on ill. And most of these folks, of course, when they're in Medicaid, a lot of these folks don't have the money to be able to go to see the doctor. The doctor won't see them unless they are paying or they have insurance. So they couldn't pay, they didn't have insurance, they didn't have the medications necessary to at least even alleviate the pain of whatever illness they had. One lady would call me up crying that her baby was dying. The baby would have bloody stool, and she just, the baby would eat and pass blood. So, and it was case after case like that of people just crying on the phone, sobbing. They kept calling in the call center day in and day out, trying to see, hey, have I been approved? Is there any news? And all we could say is, no, I'm sorry, I apologize. We're working on it. And in reality, we couldn't do anything because the call center in itself did not have access to the applications. So, I had one of those calls too many. And I just couldn't. My heart was breaking. My soul felt like constricted because I felt I couldn't do anything. My hands were tied, and it was the lying because we were covering up for the state's inabilities to do things correctly. These people were suffering, and what happened was that it kept building. The amount of people that kept calling kept building and building, and a lot of the people that were working in the call centers taking the calls were leaving. And so every other call is an escalation call, and I'm taking the calls, and here's Ari, whose soul does not jive with this stuff. It's like, oh no, I can't. So I just didn't. I decided to resign, and what I did was I went to Fox News. Which is, loves the Obamacare thing, I'm just being sarcastic. And I went ahead and exposed it. So, I'm hoping that in itself, if it doesn't lead, it hasn't been aired yet because I think the reporter is doing a huge investigation into what's really going on.
Right.
And it might air and it might not air, but just the mere fact that I put it out there. Okay, the mere fact that I put it out there that someone said enough is enough, and I was willing to risk my job, I was willing to walk away from a very, very comfortable salary, by the way. I let it go because I was just not going to participate in that anymore. So, so that's why I became a whistleblower. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Good for you, Ari. I am so proud of you because you know what? It is people like you and taking that action because that's what the government does. They get people, workers like you to kind of do their dirty work, and the Obamacare thing has not, it's such a mess right now for people.
No kidding.
And here's the deal. People are not getting the care, and I just want you to know that I admire, I've always known that if you really want to get something done or you really want to highlight something, contact the media. And so I personally thank you, and I can't even imagine all the wonderful families. I hope the reporter airs it.
I hope so too, because I was very candid. I exposed everything as best as I could, in terms of not, getting anyone in trouble specifically in the call center, because it really isn't about them. They're doing what the state is telling them to do. It really is an issue with the state of Tennessee, and it was caused by the mandate for the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
That's what happened. So my concern, the reason I really wanted to go to the Fox News National, but I couldn't get a hold of them. So, and this happened Saturday, as a matter of fact. I ended up calling them on Saturday for my local news here, and I said, you know what, this is what's happening, and thousands upon thousands of people are suffering, and the state is covering it up, and these people are not getting answers. A lot of their applications are have been lost, and people are dying and suffering, and are you interested in this information? And they go, they went like this, oh my God. This is what they said. Oh my God! And I said, I said, how can I speak with you guys? And the guy goes, can you come to the station? So I went ahead and went to the station, and I just basically told them everything I knew, and they said, are you a disgruntled employee? No. As a matter of fact, I'm not disgruntled. I happen to love everyone in that call center. I'm enamored by everyone in that call center. I love them just to death. I just love them. But in reality, they're doing a job that is being what they're being told to do is incorrect, and the state has the buck stops there. And here's what my point is. My point is, Mr. Reporter, that if this is happening in the state of Tennessee, it's happening everywhere.
Everywhere. You're correct, because I know that I have a lot of clientele without, divulging any proprietary or confidential, but yes, we're dealing with the same thing here in Colorado. I cannot tell you how many people, same identical story, only, it's kind of ironic that here I know somebody that's worked in the call center, and again, I really hope that this action, and I knew it took a lot of courage for you to do that, Ari. It really did. Would you not agree?
Of course, because I knew that once I did that, I had to resign. I mean, I couldn't, with a straight face, go back into that call center. I mean, I couldn't take another call. I really couldn't. My soul, I just couldn't. I couldn't take another anguished caller. And it's anguish. What I heard was anguish, and women sobbing, men sobbing,
people
suffering.
Suffering.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So, and that's what I'm trying to say, folks, is that, muster up that courage, okay? When you see something that is, there's injustice being committed, like chemtrails over our heads, okay, that are not just compromising your health, they're compromising the health of your children and your children's children and your parents and your neighbors and your loved ones and everything that you love on the planet. Everything that's alive is being compromised. Muster up that courage, for God's sakes. I mean, it takes one person to speak up, and if all of us speak up together, that's the empowerment. That's the 98% that we are, right? Aren't we the 98%?
Yes.
Or 99%? Okay.
Amen. I mean, that's right, because people have to get off their butts and do something,
You got to do something. You got to do something. To not do something is allowing it and being part of the problem. Okay.
Well, and it's part of saying, well, it's okay.
Exactly.
How many times do I tell
You're giving consent. You're giving.
You get home and you open your door after work, and you have a vagrant sitting on your couch eating your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and watching your TV, would you just be like, oh, hey,
Right.
To say nothing is to say it's okay for that vagrant to stay in your house.
Right.
So, I mean, it's so important, and, I really felt like we needed to address this, before we delve too much further into higher spiritual mana and food on the plate, because I'm sitting there thinking, people don't feel well enough. I can't. Again, the listeners, and I want to really take a minute and just tell all the people that have reached out to me all over the planet, I love them, and I work very diligently in Savannah as well, my super goddess, to address each and every person's situation. And I'm telling you, I've just been noticing this common thread of lack of energy, lack of...
Yep.
People are just absolutely exhausted. They're just exhausted.
Yeah.
And so how can you make any difference in the world?
You can't. And you definitely can't make a difference in the world, because you can't make a difference in your life. Okay, if you can't make a difference in your life with just thinking about it, so I'm going to sit down and meditate my migraine away, meditate my fibromyalgia away, my multiple sclerosis symptoms away. You can't, because you're overwhelmed with the symptoms of those diseases or whatever it is, the ailments. So you can't, and then forget about the fact that you're going to be spiritual. Then you're going to start connecting to Source and be connected most of the time, because your physical is pulling you down. Your physical is bringing you to the reality of this dimension. So we've got to surpass that. And how do we do that? By addressing it at the cellular level, like we're talking about. And part of it is the nutrition and getting the probiotics into your gut, right? I mean, that's also very important.
That is so important. So again, any of the listeners that may be tuning in to this particular show, this is kind of a show that Ari and I are co-hosting, that's a branch, if you will, off of my last radio interview with Ari. So I know it's archived, but yes, the probiotics, I'm telling you, it's all the difference in the world in how energy, how your body can function.
That's right. Yep.
Getting rid of all of the bacteria.
The bad bacteria.
Bad bacteria, exactly. And literally allowing your body to have access to the good bacteria. I mean, all of that matters. And I think people get so caught up in the hurry, worry, scurry, that they don't take the time to either research the supplements, or maybe they've just occupying a mental space of doom and gloom.
Yep.
So I really truly hope that this will give people the incentive to do something, and again, I want to tell people the Berkeley water filter, I so encourage people to make that investment. And I have something else that I want to just share briefly, and I thought this was really cool. Spirit brought this to my attention and asked me to bring it to the attention of everybody that crosses my path. Whether it's the oxygen products or herbs or water or oxygen or reading or whatever it is, the crystals, medicine shield jewelry. When you make an investment in you, the universe gives you a return.
Oh, yeah.
And recognizes that you are investing in your wholeness and your well-being.
So true.
And will make a return, a tenfold return on that. Okay? However, they do not recognize, nor do they do a return on an expense. Which I thought that was interesting.
That's interesting. Wow. So in other words, it depends on how you view it and how your perception.
If you perceive that whatever it is that you are investing to raise your vibration, to help you, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, all of that, if you perceive it as an expense, you don't get a universal return on that.
Wow, how cool.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Love it.
Spirit.
Very cool. Love it. And you know what? It's so true, because I have viewed things in both ways, and you're 100%, 200 million % spot on that. That when I perceived it as an investment, which is what I did with the Crown Berkey that I got, and it's Berkey. It's Berkey, Berkey pure water purifier. When I saw it as an investment, then it's just given me 100-fold. You know what I'm saying? And that money just came back to me anyway. It's like whoop-de-doo. It's like, but you know what? I haven't had to buy any bottled water. I haven't had, I've had only pure water in my body, no fluoride, and that filter, by the way, also takes out arsenic. So there's also arsenic in the water too. So it's done so much for me and my family, and I'm just blessed. But I also wanted to talk to you about the probiotic that I take, because I think I mentioned it in one of your the shows that I had with you. But I wanted to read it because I actually have it here. I didn't have it with me, but awesome. This thing is called it's right here, Green Vibrance. It's called Green Vibrance, and it's got 25 billion probiotics in there. Wow. And it's called a comprehensive restorative advanced daily superfood plus vegan D3, and so it's got all the greens and the grasses and everything. It's nutrition, digestion, circulation, and immunity with additional benefits to all body systems. And I buy the biggest one because it's the bulk supply, because my whole family takes it, and it's got a whole list of like all the different vitamins and food supplements that it has, plus the 25 billion probiotics in there. I take one of these scoops a day, and holy cow! I mean, I feel so. Your body reacts like, oh, thank you. It's like, oh, thank you. I need it. Oh, thank you. I needed that. So.
How can people? Let's let the.
How can they get this? If they go to the smarthealth.com, the smart, like smart, I'm very smart, and health, my health is great.com. They can get the Green Vibrance 25 billion probiotics things. They have them in different sizes. They can also get the Berkey water purifiers there as well, and a whole bunch of other products that people probably could use. I mean, including potassium iodate and supplements. It's got a lot of stuff in there. So definitely check that out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love. As a matter of fact, I was cruising through the smarthealth.com website last evening. It was so beautiful. It was like, I just felt so tranquil. It's absolutely amazing.
It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of good stuff in there, and
and I like the fact that particular superfood has all of the other nutrients. It's not just addressing the
probiotic aspect,
right? It's actually giving you other, superfoods, which are so necessary. And, here's the thing that I'm excited for the listeners. I'm excited for people to get on to this protocol. I mean, I've noticed a night and day difference in even your energy as well as mine. But I'm excited for the listeners.
Yep.
To feel better and to feel energized and motivated and have that desire and that passion and life force energy back.
Exactly. Because that's what's going to give you that focus to be able to tackle this, not only in your lives, tackle this in your lives, but tackle it, in the sense of in society, to raise up and do something like I did the other day, which was, okay, I'm mustering up that courage to stand up for something that I know. That I needed to give a voice to all those people that were not heard, and I was willing to risk everything to do that, including my job, and which is what I did. Okay, because after all, it's money, and I can get it somewhere else. But those people, but you know what the problem was? The problem was that Ari Kopel, okay, a servant of the light first and foremost, happened to have been in that call center, and see, they just didn't understand what I was about, and what I'm about is justice, and I'm about helping and serving humanity first,
Yes.
right? First the light, humanity, because of the people that were being, that were suffering, needed a voice, and I was willing to do that. But I had to, it had to come from that strength that I have, that divinity that I have, and I wasn't going to do that if I was feeling down, if I was feeling ill, if I felt like I was disempowered and I had to work there because, you know what, after all, this is what people do. No. I came from a place of empowerment when I did that. And so it can only happen when you're feeling like a gazillion bucks, like you're shining, you're emulating that light, because the light, your cells are reacting, your cells are full of light because you're giving them the kind of nutrition and the right water and the right oxygen and everything is working at the optimal level. That's why my brain was kicked in, and everything, all the other functions of my being kicked in and said, enough is enough, I'm doing something about it. And you don't see me depressed. My energy level is, as a matter of fact, I feel more empowered today than I did the day before, and I'll feel more empowered tomorrow than I feel today. And that's the way I feel right now. So
I love it. I'm so, again, Ari, I'm just so thankful and very proud of you for doing that. I know it took a lot of courage, and it took your job away.
It did. Hallelujah.
She lost her job to be this voice, the voice that these people didn't have, and that is a true example of being of service and being a light warrior and a light ambassador. I mean, that was a beautifully set example. There's so many people that are powerless, or the underdog, so to speak, or
right.
that have had circumstances or situations in their life that are out of their control. And so again, I can't wait. I'm really excited to see what the outcome of this.
I'm hoping that this reporter finds all that the stuff that is being hidden from the public, and that these people get the Medicaid and the help that they need, and that's the ultimate reason I went ahead and do that. The awareness, because things are covert. Where the public is being lied to within their cities, within their communities, within their state, within this country, in the world, and we need to expose, and it comes from a place of strength. Okay? And you feel strong when you're feeling well.
Absolutely. And there you have a conviction. I so agree with that. When you feel good and you have energy, I love the way you just said, Ari. That was so beautiful. Yes, there's a strength that comes along with that balance and that feeding your body the energies and the vibrational energies and supplements that we need in order to maintain this body.
Yep.
I always tell people, if you were planning a vacation and you lived in Colorado and you're going to go to California to Disneyland or something, and your gas tank in the car that you're driving is on, the gas light's on.
Right.
You don't jump in the car, load it all up with, your luggage and everything, and take off and hit the highway and drive with your gas light on all the way to California. You wouldn't make it.
That's right, you wouldn't.
But we do that with our physical bodies, right?
All the time.
All the time, and then it starts breaking down and breaking down and breaking down, and so yeah, I'm so grateful, and thank you again, Ari, that we were able to just kind of come together and talk a little bit more in depth from the last show about the importance of these products. And I'm really excited for us, or you, however it'll fall, to interview Susan Kay.
And let me just correct that. It's us. Okay, us, because I did invite you to be the co-host of the show, and I hate using the word co-host. It's like you're also the show host, and because I don't mean to use co as secondary. We're equally going to be interviewing Susan, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. And then there's many, many other guests that we're going to be bringing on. And again, this is for empowerment, to allow us to walk out of this reality. And that's the reason that we're creating these shows. Folks, we already know that the bad stuff is out there. We already know about the reptilians. We already know about the shadow government. We already know about all this. It's time to unite and step into our empowerment so that we can do something about it. Not necessarily now about this world, because this world might be just, actually... is what we say, the way that it's used to be, it's disintegrating, but we really need to walk into our empowerment so that we can vibrate to the vibration that we need to in order to attain those higher levels. And we can't do that when we're ill, and we're being bombarded so that we're being kept ill. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And you know what, Ari, I want to just kind of share with the audience a little experience that I had with Guruji, who is also known as Mr. Trivedi. He is a phenomenal, very gifted human being. It's TrivediEffect.com. And I had been participating in quite a few of Mr. Trivedi's energy transmissions back in December before I started doing your show. Well, I did a Skype interview with him, and he'd asked me, he says, well, what is your passion, And I had said, well, I really want to create peace, on this planet. And he was like, oh, please don't speak that language to me. Okay. But he made such a brilliant point. And I'm telling you, like, pardon my expression, I slapped the shit out of myself for a second,
Right.
Like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to create that peace and all of that within me. Now, he's like, this planet, it's too much. There's too much political ignorance.
Right.
There's too much political, idiots out there that are ruling the world.
Yep.
You'll never be able to save the planet. You'll never be able to create the peace, but we can do it within here.
Yep.
Within ourselves. So it's like, I feel like, that was kind of very instrumental to me. Not that he's saying, to give up the hope or whatever of that, but it's to, basically what he told me is, I'm burning up, there's 98% of my potential I'm not accessing, because I'm focused on, the whole planet. Well, that's like Atlas, the god that carried the world on his shoulder.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, no wonder that's why my chiropractor is always like, you got the world on your shoulder again. And I do. I'm like, oh, Dr. Wood, can you please get the world off my shoulder again? And so when I had this experience with Guruji, it was like, okay, Crystal, I need to kind of reassess, my plan of action, my reflection, and it was right in alignment with where I knew that we were going to go with the show and what we are trying to do. And I can tell you too, the energy transmissions have been absolutely very life-changing, and that's my truth. Those Trivedi Effect transmissions have changed my life. It's what's given me also the energy and the enthusiasm, to keep on trucking. So just glad that we have a platform.
Oh yeah.
To help people to feel better.
Absolutely, yeah. Feel better in every way, and emotionally, physically, mentally, those are so important, and to know, for them to know that they're not alone in this, that there is a place they can go to as well to to have camaraderie with others, just, like themselves, which would be, the 2012emergence.com site, where there's so many people of the spiritual community that go there and share their articles, or, they just comment on things, and they chat on the chat rooms. That's one place. And they can also join and subscribe to shatteringthematrix.com, where you have a group there that you lead. I believe it's called Crystal Ascension. Is that right? Or
Ascension Protocol.
Ascension Protocol is the name of your radio show, but I think it's called Crystal Ascension.
Oh, Crystal Ascension, yes.
Right.
Because I'm new to this whole radio world.
Right.
I'm learning all the little components that are on the inside.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. I love all of the people that have reached out. I can't even tell you, Ari. People have reached out from Saudi Arabia to Ireland to the UK
wow.
to Canada to Australia to all over the United States have really reached out, and I love each and every one of these people that have entrusted me, to help to guide them and help them navigate out of the kind of doom and gloom space that they felt stuck in.
Exactly.
We get the people unstuck, Ari.
Exactly. Let's unstuck the people, Crystal.
Get them out of the quicksand.
I love it. Let's unstuck the people. We should have a radio show named "Let's Unstuck the People." Oh my God, that's hilarious. Anyway,
The people as the people.
Exactly.
Oh.
No, but I'm serious. People really, they can find you in that particular group. I mean, where you can actually, help guide them as well, and they can communicate with you there if they want to, or they can go to your website, which is sacredspacedurango.com, and they can take a look at all the wonderful stuff you have in there, from the dry oxy, the opaline dry oxy, to your crystal ascension water, to crystals, to the medicine shields. I mean, everything.
Hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure that we're very clear, and hopefully one day I'll be able to talk to you behind the scenes of helping with my website. But I do want the listeners to know the only thing that you can purchase from Sacred Space Durango website is the water, the Crystal Ascension concentrate water, and the Crystal Ascension herbs. And also, I don't think I have the prices. Again, when I set up that, I didn't realize that eventually I'd be addressing, planet Earth. So I'm in the process of getting all of that redone, but I can tell you, if you go to Sacred Space 777 at gmail.com, I have a beautiful gift, folks, of being able to match anybody with their appropriate crystals. You email me a picture, I can look at the aura and know exactly what vibrational resonance in the mineral kingdom will work for you. So if you are interested in medicine shield, one-of-a-kind medicine shield jewelry that has crystals placed in them, or crystals, or oracle decks, or prayer books, or anything like that, just email me. There's a lot of people out there that already have. We are very, very efficient in getting orders immediately out, staying right on top of our emails. So I just want to let people know that my website is not ready for the purchase of crystals and stuff on the website, because a lot of what I sell is also one of a kind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal, to be taking and pulling things off the website and putting it back on would be literally a full-time job.
Oh, sure.
So you just got to kind of trust in the gift that Spirit entrusted me with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so far, everybody has been very, very, very pleased and very happy with the services that they have received here from Sacred Space.
Yes. And
I also want to make sure people remember thesmarthealth.com that has a phenomenal array of products in the Berkey. Sorry, I was calling it Berkeley, but sometimes it's on the tongue. Anyways, it's Berkey water.
Yeah, Berkey water purifier. Yeah, and that's going to make a heck of a difference. And then when you have that pure water and you're drinking it, you can taste the difference, folks. I'm telling you. And your body is going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then if you put on top of that, you add Crystal Ascension. Yeah, the Crystal Ascension water in there. What does it do? Crystal, can you explain?
Oh my gosh, you might pop out of your crown chakra. I don't know. I actually had a lady tell me that the other day. I mean, it's really been a fun to listen to all of the beautiful, phenomenal stories that people are writing and telling me have happened. They're vibrating at, just all hours of the day and night. So it's funny. It says hydrate then vibrate, which is funny because Spirit actually made me trademark that and put that on the bottle, hydrate then vibrate. So, if you can purify, again, the Crystal Ascension water is a concentrate. It comes in a 4-ounce bottle. It retails for $18. You can put 1 dropper of the Crystal Ascension water concentrate in a pitcher of water, a gallon of water, a glass of water, or straight down the hatch. Wow. And it's going to put life force. It will turn the dead water into live water.
Wow.
I also have been encouraging people to take a couple droppers and put it in your Opaline Solutions detox bath as well. And then you're taking a crystalline bath too. So,
exactly.
when I tell people it is concentrate, I really mean it. It is super duperly highly concentrated water.
Pretty awesome.
And it is full of blessings. So every time you're drinking, I call it a glass of crystal light.
Yeah.
Vibrations. You're drinking blessings and love and wisdom and light and prosperity and joy and happiness and wholeness and wellness. So
fantastic. That is like the ultimate water right there. So purify your water, put that a Crystal Ascension water in there, and you're good to fly. You probably don't need a broomstick, right? At that point, you're just flying, because your vibration is accelerated. It's accelerated. Yeah. And on top of that, if you're taking the oxygen and you're eating right, you're getting nutrition in directly to your gut. That is definitely going to make. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm telling you guys to please, if you can just try it. And then email me or email Crystal and let us know that this protocol that we've put into this show today, if it's worked for you, I would love to hear the testimonials, because I would love to have you on the show as well. I want to know your before and after, okay? How you were before and how you are after you started this protocol of taking oxygen, of purifying your water, putting the Crystal Ascension water on there, and getting the nutrition directly to your gut, especially with the probiotics. And if you can get green vibrance, because it's giving you it's got 75 different ingredients in here besides the probiotics, 73 different plant nutrition that goes directly into the gut and directly to your cells. My goodness, your cells are going to be jumping for joy. They're going to be coming back to life, and they're going to be multiplying correctly. Vibrating and working correctly, and
absolutely, and
allowing your organs to do the function that they're supposed to do, allowing your brain to function correctly. Then your demeanor changes. You start working from a place of joy, a place of elation, and that allows you to vibrate much higher and allow those higher energies and frequencies that are coming into the planet affect you in a positive way. So that's what I'm talking about. And my goodness,
it raises your vibrational octave, and then whatever the universe is, it's the laws of attraction. Energy flows where thought goes.
Yep.
So if we can raise our vibration and feel better, we're in a lot better shape, folks.
You got it.
It's helpful, and I love the idea of letting people to try the protocol and come in. And also, real quick, because I know time is of the essence, don't forget about the Crystal Ascension Pineal formula.
Yes.
It should be on the website now. I did have my webmaster get that on there. That is so, so important to not let that pineal center calcify.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, Crystal, we've come to the end of the show. It was awesome. It's a fantastic show. I mean, folks, I'm excited. I'm more energized now than I started with. It's like, and I was already at high energy. I was like Energizer battery bunny at the beginning. I'm really like, oh my God. So thank you so much for being on the show, being the co-host of the show, the new show host of the show. And next week we'll have Susan talking about the herbs, right?
Yes, the importance of the organs. And let me tell you what, folks, it's going to be a really, really good show. She's highly educated, and we need to talk about feeding your organs. Okay?
Very good. So everyone, thank you very much for being in tune to the show and listening in. You've been listening to Shattering the Matrix. I'm Ari Kopel, and you've been listening to Crystal Andasola. We'll catch you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Love and light.
Love and light.